At this point in time, I've got the bike titled, insured, and licensed. During the title process, I learned that 1981 was the first year of the structured 17-digit VIN number. This one has a model number followed by the production number, so it makes it a 1980 and not a 1981. My bad. Anyway, I've taken it out on a few road tests, and I've got a little under 300 miles on it right now. And I've discovered a few things that need to be addressed before I go on any long road tests, and we'll go through it in this part of the episode. So here it goes. I discovered the bike is really cold-blooded and runs terrible when it's cold. And once it warms up, it's nice and smooth. But after a long run, I took out the spark plugs and to read them. And the left spark plug is actually showing a light tan color, which indicates it has a good fuel-air mixture. But the right plug is white. It's hard to tell in the video, but it's almost pure white, indicating that it's running too lean. So I'm trying to correct that. So what I've done here is I removed the fuel tank after draining the one carb anyway, and then I pulled off the top cover with the slider on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the needle just a little bit. I've had some shims that worked on CV carbs, but they're too big for this particular carb. So what I'm going to do is I've got the manufacturer shims from shim stock. I'm going to go 2000s, not very much, and to raise the needle just a little bit to enrich in the mixture once you're at off idle kind of thing. It idles fine, but especially when it's cold, it's just like hard starting, and it just runs terrible if you try to take off. You better make sure there's no traffic around because it's bucks and whatever. But like I say, when it's warm, it's fine. I discovered that while doing this particular job that in order to make installing the lines on the petcock easier, I just put a little plastic tub under the back of the tank. That raised up a little bit and gave me a whole lot more room to play with the fuel lines and the vacuum line, and I didn't have to struggle at all. So I learn a little bit every time I do something on this, so there you go. The other thing I noticed is that when the bike is cold, for the first 30 miles the speedometer is nice and smooth, but as it warms up the needle starts bouncing a little bit. It's well, a little bit at first, and that after about 75 miles or so, it's like a metronome or one of those tick-tock things. It goes from pin to pin, 0 to 85, 0 to 85, 0 to 85. So first thing I noticed was the speedometer cable's the original one. It has a stiff spot. I just can't loosen up. I'll just get a new Speedo cable to start with, and hopefully that corrects it. If not, then I gotta dig into the actual speedometer. So I cleaned up the Speedo cable, and a couple times took it apart, cleaned it up with. I ran some WD-40 through the casing, and then cleaned up the cable itself and lubed it, and I was hoping that would take care of the bouncing needle, but no, that's not the case. It's still going crazy after about 10 or 15 miles it starts, but as you put more miles on it, it bounces pretty badly from pin to pin, 0 to 80, 0 to 80, 0 to 80, so you really can't use it. So what I'll do is I'll pull the headlight ring off, pull out the headlight, and disconnect the wires to the Speedo, and that goes in here. Get that out of the way. 2 small nuts, it should pull out. Then I got to build a jig to hold the ring while I bend the ring where it's bent over to hold everything together, and open it up so I can pull it apart and do the repairs. It probably just needs lube because the thing is 43 years old, so I'm not too surprised. Anyway, we'll start that process. Okay, the headlight is out of the way, and I can get at the wires. It's going to be this guy down here. Oops, down here. The black and yellow goes to the ground, and the brown and white goes to the power to the Speedo assembly. It's probably just the backlighting. So that's all there is to that. Disconnect that. Then I can take the head out of the way. Okay, I marked the wires in the headlight bezels so I don't go chasing after them later. And I pull them out, and they're just over here. Oops, right here. And another thing I noticed is I should have had this when I built it up. This is with too loose. I'm gonna have to put more cushioning in here because the speedometer vibrates as well. So I'll just pull this head out of here and leave it here. Get the Speedo head out of here. Okay, that's done. So the Speedo should come apart right about now. What I should do is, I guess, take this tape off here. If I can find the end. Here we go. I took the knob off the odometer set. And here it is. All ready to be lubed, and hopefully that's all it is. So I'll have to do a few other checks, and hopefully I'll take care of this issue. Anyway, here we go. I'll do some lubing here, and keep my fingers crossed. Have to use something like a toothpick or something to lubricate the inner workings on this thing. I'm just going to use a little bit of light lubricate, light grease. Oh, look at that, there's a spider web in there. Interesting. This bike sat for many years before I got it, so I'm not surprised here. Must have been a small spider. Well, let's check the workings on this. Keep my fingers out of the way, and I got a Robertson bit on this, on my drill. Maybe the issue is not the Speedo, it seems to be working okay, but it's cold. And this only happens when it warms up, so it won't hurt to lubricate it anyway, regardless. Put a little dab on a toothpick and dab it here and there. These gears are just for the odometer anyway, so. Don't want to touch the tumblers. Here we go. Well, that's it. It's back together. So we'll see how it goes. If it continues to do the same thing, then I'll have to dig into the drive on the front wheel. So as far as I know right now, everything's good. Nice and steady. Let's see how that works. I'll put it back in. At this point in time, the cylinders are balanced, but it's still running a little lean for my taste. I'll probably end up rejetting it in fall when the season for riding is slowing down a little bit. The Speedo appears to be more stable after the work I've done, the Speedo head, and I've actually replaced the cable, just because the old cable had still the hard spot I couldn't get rid of, and also the tightening of the mount in the base. So a long road trip will tell if it's actually fixed. If not, then I'm going to have to go into the drive in the front wheel. So hopefully I don't have to do that. At this point in time, I'm going to give it an oil change again, because this bike was basically run down pretty bad when I got it. So I'll give it another oil change before I go on a long road test, and that'll determine whether the engine is okay, as well as the Speedo head. So that'll be coming up in the next video, the actual ride to the state park that I had planned earlier. So if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe down below, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.